Welcome everyone. Shamla, welcome. Shamla is always here. Nice to have you. So we're going to do the job opportunity for home care provider program. I'm going to drop some other places that you can send. Look for opportunities if you're interested in applying for the caregiver program. So one company that is a provider that will give individuals a job offer is this one that I have pulled up here, and it is Niagara Caregiver Personal Limited. So this is one company that is offering that you can apply to, and you can see that when you go on their site, they actually say home child care provider and home support worker pilot, meaning that they'll offer you guys this opportunity. So the employment opportunities, as you say, if you look at their site, they are based in Canada with children, seniors, or persons with disabilities or special needs. So they ask that if you're an overseas child care professional, a professional caregiver, teacher, or nurse with a true passion for helping children, seniors, or persons with disability, you can apply for work in Canada as a under the program that they call the Home Child Care Provider or Home Support Worker Program. So this is a program where you can get a job offer for those who are interested in working in Canada, and you have the home child care provider program that will be opening on March 31st, and that is a couple weeks from now. And this is where you can get a job offer. So once you go on their page, you can actually click and see that they have different things that talks about home, about us, child care solutions, senior care, caregiver profiles, employment opportunities, and contact us. So employment opportunities is where you'll actually go and you can read up on what the offerings that they have. So as you can see, if you look closely on their site, they do daily childcare and live-in nannies. So it's daily childcare and live-in nannies. So this is a perfect opportunity, as I said before, for those who are interested in applying for the pilot program. And if you're joining us, you can drop the country that you're watching in from. I know I didn't announce it earlier that I'm going to have a live, so I just jumped on earlier because persons were asking me, like, what are the opportunities? And I just wanted to do this first. So this is an area or a program that you can apply to an agency. Niagara Caregivers, we're going to drop their handle in the comment section. So they do caregiving for daily childcare and living nannies. Now we're going to look at some opportunities that they have and basically how you can go about the program. So it says for them that they offer Ontario regulated wages. They do live-in and live-out positions with children, seniors, or adults with disabilities. No enrollment or placement fees, and that is underlined for applicants or employees. Support and employment, or they provide support and employment counseling prior to and during your employment. Now, qualifications and experience. Are you eligible for this? So it is noted that you must have work experience and training for the type of work that you're applying for. So if you have never done caregiving and if you've never done like worked as a nanny, they are saying that you must have training and that you must have experience. Next includes that if you're applying as the home child care provider program with children or home support worker care for senior or adults with disability or special needs, this program does not include housekeeping jobs. So it's strictly caregiving, so it doesn't include housekeeping jobs. However, if you did housekeeping prior and if you did have experience as a caregiver or a nanny, you still can apply, but it does not offer housekeeping. You must have a genuine and valid job offer, meaning a real need to hire you. So they're going to give you that. You have the ability to do the work. You must have past experience and training, which will be reviewed by government officials to decide if you're able to do the work described in the NOC job description. And that is a job description for that of the home provider, home caregiver pilot program. Next is that you are required to work a minimum of 30 hours per week, and that is included in their eligibility and experience to apply. It states that you're required to work a minimum of 30. I said that already, sorry. You must be able to pass the English French language test, which I've already explained to individuals about. It's a Canadian learning base level 5 in English, or the NLCL 5 in French, all 4 language skills. And the CLB can be is similar to what they're talking. They have different categories, which one includes that of the IELTS. So you should have that already. You must meet educational requirements, meaning that you must have completed secondary educational credential of at least 1 year in Canada. And that speaks to that of your having your high school diploma. And you must, if you're outside of Canada, what you'll do is get that verified and vetted through World Educational Services. So you must show that you have completed a Canadian secondary education, and you must have the ability to enter and work in Canada, and you must provide a police clearance test. And I think that will be done from the home country that you're coming from. So again, if you're joining us, we're speaking about this Niagara Caregivers that offers the job offer for those interested to do the Caregiver Support Program that will be opening next month for Canada. All right, so just a little backtrack of what they do. They offer caring and affordable and reliable home care solutions, and they've been doing this since 1983. And again, the name of the company is Niagara Caregivers and Personal Limited, and you can type that in on your regular browser and you can see what they offer. So they specialize in exceptional live-in or live-out caregiving for children, seniors, and persons with illness, disabilities, or special needs. If you're joining us, please jump in our chat and say hi. Let me know the country that you're joining from. I know Shamla was here earlier, and she's from India, always here with us. Now, this company has over 37 years of experience, such as staff. They bring strong expertise and knowledge in caregiver. Now, if you're just joining, this program is a job offer. This is an agency that can be used if you're interested in doing the Canadian Caregiver Pilot Program. They have it listed on their site that they have the opportunity to give you a job offer. So I'm listing what they do. So they do live-in and caregivers with seniors and children. And we already went through the eligibility of having the Canadian education assessed. You must be able to have the IELTS, and that's your English test. You must be able to pass a police clearance test, and you must have experience and training in the job that they're looking for. So even though you're doing caregiving for how many years, you must have some form of certificate. And it's very important, no matter how many experience that you have, always try to get a certificate in it. And this is the name of the company, Niagara Caregivers and Personal Limited. All right, and I did, for those who are just joining, these are the qualifications. So they have it listed on their site already that they offer regulated wages, the opportunity for you to live in and live out positions with children, seniors, adults, and those with disability. All right, so Shamla just commented that, but the IRCC has to announce some more eligibility criteria. In the official website, it is written that they will provide more details shortly. Right. So remember, this program is another pilot program and they started it already. So I know a lot of people want to get the ball rolling, but you have to wait until they have more information as it comes closer or on the date. The same thing with this company too. Made contact with them and they're saying that they're willing and they're eager to start, but they want to wait until the government gives the go ahead. However, you can have this company written down, go through their eligibility criteria and the qualifications, make sure that you have everything that they need. When they're ready, you can simply reach out to them. I think they have more information that they want to give out before, as it comes close, a little more closer to the time before they start anything. But they just gave you the basic requirements so that you can start preparing. Shamladi, I think you got most of these. I hope that answers your question. And we have gone through this. They basically went over basically what the government requires, and they want you to meet these expectations. And it is stated that you must have certificate or training in the area. Even though you do caregiving or you provide support as a nanny, you must have some form of training. So are you saying that more eligibility, I don't think more eligibility criteria will be required. They just gave you the basics. So probably they're having, like, I know it's the deadline, but I remember the last time when they opened up, they had a huge oversubscription, and it had to be closed in 1 week. So what they're giving you is the general requirements. I don't think it will be anything erroneous for you to go and get done. It's just like when you have what you said, like you have a job opening, you give the persons the basics and you're waiting for them to come back, waiting until everything is settled as it comes closer to give adequate information. So I don't think it will anything erroneous. Hi, welcome RN to CEO. Nice to have you. And for anybody else watching, can follow RN to CEO, or all my registered nurses interested to go into entrepreneurship, a business. See her name, RN to CEO. You can follow her. I follow her a lot. Get a lot of information from her. So you can head over to her page. So we're just talking about the Canadian Caregiver Pilot Program, and they have a opportunity for job offers through this agency right here, and we have listed it. They provide employment opportunities, au pair positions in Canada, au pair positions overseas, daily childcare opportunities, and as it listed, if you look in that right hand corner, you see where it says home childcare provider and home support worker program and job opportunities. They are located in 20 Houston South Suite 701, Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. So this is where you can get that job opportunity from. And we're just going over the eligibility criteria that you need to apply. And I think we did all of that already. So I am going to drop it in my comment section here, and you can find the necessary information. Any more questions that you guys have? For those who are here and joining us, drop where you're from, which country, where you're watching from right now. You can let me know where you guys are from. I know Shamla is all the way in India, always on here and watching. So we're grateful for that. So RN to CEO says she's from USA. All right. So, and they talked about that you must meet the educational requirements. You must have completed secondary education, that is high school, what we talked about. And this to what they have listed on their on the government website that is doing the Caregiver Pilot Program. So another thing that the company lists is that you must not have a criminal record, and that is very important. No criminal record, and be eligible to enter and to work into Canada. You must be able to pass a medical. So if you're looking for a job offer with them, you have to be able to pass a medical. Very important. You must also have that of a valid passport. You must also be able to pass biometric testing, able to make a commitment of 3 years. And this is very important when you're signing with companies, especially international agencies who are offering you sponsorship. It is very important for you to note how long your contract will be. So this opportunity here with this agency states that you must be able to sign with them for 3 years. So you're going to be working with them for 3 years. The next thing that you have to pay attention to for this agency is that you have the ability to pay the fees for your work permit application. Very important again. So they're saying you'll have to seek a work permit application, and you have to pay that out of pocket. You'll have to pay for your permanent residency application, and that will be covered through the pilot program that you're doing. You must cover your medical exam, your police certificate, your language test, educational credential assessment, biometrics, and a fare to Canada, as well as health insurance for Canada for the first 3 months. So we see a lot of job opportunities out there, and they're good, they sound good, but you have to look at the fees that you're going to pay. Here I'm going to read it again, and this is a lot of fees for individuals to pay, and that is why I always stress when you're migrating, it's not a one and done. You can't just get up today and say, I'm going to migrate tomorrow. It takes years of planning and preparation and months. you have to start saving from the beginning. It takes money to move from one country to another, even if it's going to be sponsored. There are fees or hidden fees that you're going to see popping up, and you have to have money to cover yourself. So this agency is giving you a job offer and said, yes, you can come. But they're saying that you must have the ability to pay your own fees, pay for your work permit, pay for permanent residence, pay for a medical exam, your police certificate, language testing, credentialing of your exam, educational credential, biometrics, and your airfare to Canada. If you're a family of 2 or 3, you're going to times all of this by 2 or 3, and you have a large fee right there. That's why it's important to save whatever you can do to get those money, get this covered. Very important. And not to mention health insurance for the first 3 months. You must have the ability to pay the study and work permit fees for your spouse also. Also, if you have children, if you're being accompanied with, if you're carrying them with you to Canada, you'll be responsible for their airfare as well as their accommodation, housing, and childcare if needed when they arrive in Canada. Now, what do you think about this opportunity, guys? So this is an agency saying that they're going to work with the government for the Caregiver Pilot Program that will give caregivers permanent residency once they enter Canada. They're giving you a job offer which is needed for that pilot program. Now, I think these opportunity is good that they're giving, and I like the fact that the company actually lays out everything that you need to pay for. Some persons are not honest and may not post the truth to it. I appreciate that the company says, hey, you'll have to work with us for 3 years. So they're telling you, be prepared for that. You'll have to pay fees out of pocket, and they list every single thing. The only thing that I wish is that they've given an estimate of same, but I'm not sure if they'll be able to do that because it may be dependent on the country that you're coming from. If you're coming from Shamla, India, or if you're coming from Jamaica, medical exam may be different, a police certificate may be different, and then you're going to be quoted in your country's currency. So I like the fact that they laid out everything that is required. So it's not something that you're going to say, hey, I signed with you, I didn't see this. They laid it out on their side. But persons who are just joining us, join in and let us know which country you're joining from. We're talking about the Caregiver Pilot Program. Persons have asked about job opportunities where they can get a job offer. And we're talking about the Niagara Caregivers and Personal Limited. I'll drop it in the comment section for you guys to go over and look. And we're going through what the requirements are and the eligibility for this. This company is located in Canada, and they said that they're willing to partner. They're willing to offer you guys a job offer, but they're waiting on the government to give them the go ahead because the program will open on March 31st. And they're laying out everything that you need to have before you can start with them. Now, they also noted that you have the option to live in or live out of your employer's home. So that means you can either live in the employer home if you're doing caregiving or if you're doing nanny, or you can have a home for yourself. Now, they state that if you choose to live out, you'll be responsible to find your own accommodation, pay for your own accommodation, and also pay for transport to and from work. Now, this is quite a lot too. So you realize that once again, money is needed upfront to do all of this. So they're saying that if you're not going to live with the employer, you'll have to pay for your own accommodation and also provide transportation to and from work. I'm going to be honest, when you look at this, it may sound a bit heavy or a lot, but if you plan accordingly, research, just like I always tell nurses and anybody that is going overseas, look at the cost of living of the country. If you're going somewhere, especially if this agency is in Ontario, they're going to probably put you around in and around Ontario. Look at the cost of living of Ontario. Look at what's the cost for rent in the area. What's the cost for childcare? What's the cost for food? What is the public system like? Can you depend on it, or do I need my own car? Add all those figures up and determine what you need to cover you in a month. Then you calculate how much the employer is going to be paying you per hour. Whether they're going to be paying it bi-weekly, which is at the end of 2 weeks, or weekly. You add all of those up, whether for 2 weeks or for the month, and then look at the cost of living, the expenses. Ask yourself now, am I able to will I be able to survive on this? Will I need to pick up another job? What are the job opportunities? Will my spouse be able to work? What will be schooling like? What's the cost for food? All of those stuff. So Going overseas and migrating, it's a lot of work and you have to plan accordingly. There's a quote that persons always say, if you have to plan to prepare, and if you don't plan to prepare, you plan to fail. So this is something that you have to plan excessively for. And you have to look at what's the cost, what's the amount that these individuals will be paying me, and how will I be able to support myself. The next thing that is very important too, they say that you have to work at least 30 hours per week. Will you be able to survive on 30 hours times the amount that they're paying you? And will you be able, if you're in a contract with them for 3 years, you need to ask questions like, will I be able to work for someone else or have to work for you alone? I don't know, some persons may differ and they may have times that they want you to come in, and if you're not available, all those questions you have to ask. The next thing that you need to look at too, if the contract is for 3 years, what happens if something happens? I have a medical emergency, I have to fly back home. What happens? Do I have to pay back a fee? Is there a fee towards this? Because there are costs that are going to they are going to be paying you. There are going to be costs that the company may endure with bringing you there, even though you may pay for most stuff out of your pocket, but it's a contract. Always have to look at conditions. What happens if I break this contract? What happens? Do I have to pay you back? And the very important thing is that they say, yes, you have to pay us back. What's the payment plan? You don't want a company to say that, oh, you have to pay us back $50,000 and you have to pay that back immediately. You need to know a payment plan. Will I pay you back over the course of 2 to 3 months, or can I do it monthly? How long can I do this payment plan for? So these are all the questions that you need to ask when you see opportunities like these. Many a times it looks good on paper, but you have to look, think, analyze, and think critically to see how this will work for you. Any questions that you guys have from this opportunity? What do you think about it? For me personally, I think it's a good opportunity. I like the fact that they laid out everything. They tell you everything that you need. So you see everything up front. And based on what I tell you, you have to write down things on paper to see if this is feasible for you. You'll see a lot of opportunities out there, but you can't jump to opportunities like that. Just like if you're going to create a business, and our into CEO is here who does a lot of entrepreneurship, you have to do a feasibility study to determine if this is feasible for you and your family. Will it be better for you to move to this country, or it will be better to stay in your home country? What do you guys think? Drop in the comment section. Let's have a discussion. Any questions that you have based on this opportunity? So this is one of the job offers. There are some other companies, but this company was very clear. They were very precise. I like the fact that when I read everything, I called them. They were very clear, communicated well, and they were excited with the program that they're talking about, which is a home care child provider program. Any more questions? I hope you guys will take on to this opportunity, and that you do the stuff that I laid out. Like, read clearly, make sure that you understand the fees that you have to pay and how you're going to cover yourself with this. It's a wonderful opportunity by the government in terms of the pilot program with regards to Canada and getting caregivers an opportunity to go to Canada. And if you see this opportunity right now, I've been sharing this from last year. So persons should have been getting their papers, their documents together. If you see this opportunity and it misses you, it's no problem. You can just go back to the drawing board, make sure that you have everything, and then apply for it again. They keep saying pilot program, and in their articles that I read online, they're saying that they're planning to make this permanent. So pilot means that you're testing something, looking at the positives and the negatives, and eventually they're going to make this program permanent. They started last year and they're doing it again. No doubt, I think that they'll be doing this again for next year. When you see opportunities repeating themselves, what you always do is look at the timeline when they open these opportunities. Last year they did it for January. Now this year they're doing it for March. So you realize that the first quarter of the year is when they open up the opportunities. So that's your time frame to know that this will be opened next year, and I need to start applying. I need to start to gather my documents from the year before and start applying. Any questions that you guys have? So this is the Niagara Caregivers and Personal Limited. So you can go online and you can do your own reading. I do encourage that, and your own research. And you can find them. And you can also give a call if you want to know more about what they are offering. However, it has been noted that they're still waiting on the government. They're going to wait on the government when they open up the program to start offering those job opportunities. Any more questions? I guess everything is clear as mud, clear as crystal. So this is the Canadian Caregiver Pilot Program that is being introduced by the province of Ontario. And they're opening this program for March 31st, and that is right around the corner for this year. Last year, as I said before, when they opened the program within the space of 1 to 3 days or a week, it was oversubscribed and they had to close it. And I stressed this on my other video, and I'm going to stress it again. It is not just a program for persons who are in Canada, but those who are outside of Canada. So this is a highly competitive program. You're competing with persons who are already in Canada, who actually need permanent residency, and you're competing with thousands of other persons across the world who want to go to Canada. So it's a competitive program, and you have to have all your paperwork and everything aligned and just ready. Make sure that you have that IELTS exam, the English exam, getting your transcripts verified, and you have your high school diploma verified through WES, and also have a job offer. And not to mention, guys, it's a pilot program, and the government is streamlining it, making it for individuals to do this program on your own. So you don't need a third party or an agency to do this on your own. You simply go to the government website, type in Caregiver Program, and they lay out everything for you, which I agree is pretty good. And they're making some changes towards immigration with regard to that, so individuals can apply on their own. And there are also fees that you have to pay for that. So you're going to pay fees for the Canadian Caregiver Program. That's an application that you have to pay. And then you also have to look at the fees. If you go with this agency, there are fees that you're going to have to pay. All right, so Shamla asked a question, when should we take medicals after visa submission? I'm not sure what's the time frame for their medicals, because that's a different country. I know based on experience with the US, I think it's after you do your submission also, then you do a medical. So I'm not sure if they are similar, but they'll give you an update. Once you submit your documents, they're going to give you an update of the necessary steps that you need to take, because you're dealing directly with the government right there. So they'll let you know. So that's another thing, that you have to pass through medicals, and you have to have certain, I think they do vaccinations of certain diseases or illnesses, infections, and preventions for that. So medical is also important. Police clearance test, your biometric test. So a lot of tests need to be done. Again, it's a lot when you look at it. If you miss this one, you can always prepare for the next. Always prepare for the next if you miss this one, and just continue to just follow their websites, follow different platforms, platforms that will update you. I did tell individuals, kept reaching out to me, and I said I will follow. And once I see it open, I'll come back with the information, and I did. I have a newsletter that I'm going to be preparing for you guys. So once it opens again, I'll let you know, and we'll just send out newsletters and say, hey, it is ready. Get these stuff together. Any other questions that you have, Shamla? Please remember that a lot of persons have experience in caregiving, and especially nanny, no matter nanny caregiving. They're saying that the agency is saying that you need to provide some form of training, evidence of training. So this is very important. It's very important that no matter what skill you're doing, if you're doing it for years and years, you need to get a certificate, some form of training in it to show that you have like some form of expertise in it. So it's very important that you have that also. Any more questions? We're almost to 30 minutes. That's what I planned to do for today. And you can go on their site. It's Welcome to Niagara Caregivers and Personnel Limited. I'm going to be dropping in the comment section some other places that you can look for, some other job offers if you want other opportunities. And this would be in our chat section. You can also utilize sites like Indeed.com to see opportunities for caregiver jobs if you're interested in going to Canada. It may be a bit of stretch when using some of these sites, and that's why I utilize this agency that has it clear already on their program that they're offering that support. So I posted two others there, caregiverjobs.ca and www.indeed.com. Any more questions that you need assistance with? All right, so this is the last slide that I have. And at the end of their website, they did state that they offer job opportunities for nannies, daily childcare, au pair, daily and overnight senior care, live-in and out caregivers for seniors or persons with illness, disability or special needs, PSWs, and those are your personal support workers. And these individuals normally get training, and they have to do training in Canada, cannot be done anywhere else, and you receive that certificate from the school that you went to in Canada. They also offer job opportunities for RN. So if you're a nurse or registered practical care nurses, they have opportunities for them. And practical nurses for in Canada, I'm going to make a video on that. The practical nurses that they're talking about in Canada is a different training from many other countries, so you have to pay attention to that. Live in or live out housekeeper, companions. They do offer memory care. Those are like persons with Alzheimer's or dementia, diseases or illnesses that affects your memory. Post-surgical care, palliative care that deals with those who are suffering from cancer or end of life. Personal care, meal preparation, and escort to appointments and cleaning services. They offer full-time, part-time, temporary, and on-call services. 24, and they provide services also 24 hours per day, 7 days per week. Stated before, they have employment opportunities, caregiver profiles, and senior care. Now, if this agency looks like an agency that you want to work with, you can reach out to them. If you go further on their page, they do have a website that if you're interested in the program for the Home Care Support Pilot Program, there's an email address that you can reach out to, and you can go on their site and find. I didn't want to just share that so wide, but you can go to their site and you can reach out to that email address that they have listed there. I think that's the recruitment officer or the coordinator that's responsible for the home care support program, and you can reach out to them if you have further concerns, further issues with signing up with them, and you need more information. And this is all available on their website. So thank you guys so much for joining and hopping on. I didn't announce that I'm having a live, but it just had some time, so I said let I share this with you guys, and you can start preparing if you're interested in applying for this program. If you don't have any more questions or concerns, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to my community, the individuals that continue to show up and to watch. Even though you do not comment or leave a like or anything, thank you so much for watching, and see you in another video. All right, so thank you, and that is it.